Dude, cause Walt, what's up, dude? I'm about to head over to the Wonsham, start exploring some shit. I need to get on these community events, man. I haven't been doing them. I kind of like that they stretched it out so long, though. And then they have the tiered system. I mean, I like the idea of it. I've just been so busy with other stuff, I haven't, like, really engaged with it. Because, Walt, speaking of the devil, dude, check the locale. Oh, shit. Yeah, dude. Exactly. I freaking love this spot, man. Looks like he'd added some more stuff to it. So sick. Dude, I love how you can collect planetary trophies now. It's pretty awesome. That's cool. But I'm going to use your terminus, head over to my base in the Wonsham, and go discover some new planets. See what kind of cool shit I can find out there. Cause Walt, so what did you think of Slade's Sphinx, bro? On Anya. Pretty sick, right? It's a crazy build. Those of you that are watching this is going to be a pretty chill stream, so I'm literally just going to be exploring a region of the Delta called the Wonsham Void. Just kind of seeing what I can find out there. So no objective for the day, literally just exploration. Right, Cuzwalt? It is sick, dude. I could not believe, like, the scale at which that thing was built. Alright, let's see what's out there that I haven't landed on.
Navigational data received.
Dude, you're so right. Yeah, each base has like its own vibe for sure. I mean, we've got like Fiji, which is like a resort. We've got the Sphinx. We've got the Capitol building, which is sort of like a castle. You know, we've got a lot of cool things going on there, for sure, dude. Yes. Found me a space battle. Let's do this. And this is a hella green system. I already got an S-Class, I'm not too worried about it.
Hostile ships deleted.
Let's see what prize these fucking guys gonna give me. Give me some warp fuel, kind sir. That would be nice. We'll leave it to Panda to get stuck in the corner. Oh fuck, we got Dave Langer in the chat. We got Chase Benson. What's going on, Chase Benson? Cause Dave, I don't know if you guys are in a party chat or not currently, but you know, feel welcome to join in if you want. I could put together a party chat. So, like I said, I'm not doing anything but exploring the Wonsham, just discovering some new systems. So, wouldn't mind company. Weak ass freighter, cool ass colors. Yeah, it's weak as fuck. You know, I'll create a party chat, Dave, and I'll send you an invite. Chase, I'm doing pretty good, man. Things are just starting to slow down from the Christmas holiday. So work is starting to slow down. Personal life is starting to slow down. So everything's kind of getting back in order. I don't know if you celebrate Christmas, Chase, but if you do, man, how'd it go? I'm gonna blue screen you guys for just 1 second. Oh, come on. I hate having to scroll so far down my friends list. Bro, cause my work was crazy busy. Chase says, yeah, I know, man. Just got back from baking, cooking, cleaning, with for my grandmother 2 straight days of family dinners and parties and made enough to feed a damn tornado. Hell yeah, dude. 43 hours spent in the kitchen out of 24/7, pretty much. Wow. Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, mine wasn't that hectic. I actually was able to slow everything down, spend good quality time with my brother, my wife, my dad, and we all got things that we wanted. I bought my dad a 4K Blu-ray player that supports high dynamic range, as well as two 4K Blu-rays. So one of which was the original Matrix movie. And then my wife surprised me and got me a Nintendo Switch with Super Smash Brothers, the limited edition Zelda controller, a big ass giant bottle of Dolce & Gabbana light blue cologne, and a few other things. And then my dad got me these Sony XM1003s, like noise canceling headphones, which are pretty expensive and really nice. I got my wife the same headphones. We got her a 128 gigabyte iPad and a few other things. So we all had a great Christmas presents wise. We normally don't go that big on presents, but we couldn't think of what to buy each other, so the only option was to go a little on the hefty side, I guess. Okay, this is my kind of frozen planet right here. Yeah, man, Chase, this was a blessed Christmas. I wasn't expecting anything really. I thought that one of the boxes that was under the tree was a box of chocolates, and I thought the other one was a sweater. I'm not even making that up. It's like 100% serious. So when I opened it and I found a Nintendo Switch in there, I almost cried actually because I've been wanting one, um, mainly for Zelda and Super Smash Brothers and a couple of games, and just the fact that my wife would recognize that and hook it up, just kind of mind-boggling. Kendall Southwick in the chat. What's going on, Kendall? Forgot I didn't have my PlayStation camera on. For those that gave a shit, I dabbed as soon as I read Kendall Southwick's name. Don't know why, but I felt it warranted it. Who else likes Frozen Planets? I'm pretty down with Frozen Planets. Just a little playing and lurking. Hell yeah, dude. What's up, dude? Fuck. Oh shit. You dirty bitch. I'm more of an overgrown kind of guy. Yeah, man. The more like destitute the planet, the happier it makes me. Like the more barren or dead or you know unfriendly, the more I seem to like it. I do like lush planets, but only if I find them occasionally. Which is why I like this Visions update, because it's like I'll find all these different planets, but then randomly I'll find the rare, blue water, green grass, blue sky planet. Which is nice, you know. I feel like the game is, over the last year, has just made it too easy to find lush planets. Alright, let's head on to the next planet. Trying to keep it a little on the quiet side. My wife is trying to sleep, so I don't want to be too loud. But if anybody can let me know if they're hearing me clearly, just let me know. Chase says, I really specifically like one of the floating islands with water and still lots of mainland, which makes my searches longer and more gratifying. That's awesome, bro. Coswell says, I wish we could see the source of what the system was to green in space. Oh, you mean like what's causing that color? That'd be cool. Sounds clear to me, says Kendall. Appreciate the feedback. And we got James Crockett in the chat. Says, hi. What's going on, James Crockett? You're welcome. This is a hateful planet. It has a... Oh, I haven't seen these kind of rocks in a long time, actually. Last time I saw one of these rock formations was in Atlas Rises. That is cool. Oh shit, my life support's low as hell. Oh shit, Sentinel. It's kind of a cool cave. I dig it. And we got some vortex cubes. James Crockett says, I'm one of your biggest fans. I love your shows. If you're being honest, I appreciate that, man. Have you been keeping an eye on the, basically our, like, hub highlight series with the different, we're only on episode 3 right now, but I've showcased 3 builds on our hub planet that I'm really proud to have there, built by members of our community, which is so very fucking cool. Chase Benson says, maybe the system is inside a nebula. For a nebula to be green, it requires oxygen to have a higher concentration of oxygen than hydrogen or sulfur. Never mind the repeat of oxygen. Hell yeah, that'd be really cool, man. Chase, I have a feeling, and I've been having this feeling for a long time. So take it with a grain of salt, because I've been wrong for like the last 2 updates now. But I have a feeling that Hello Games sometime soon is going to make the galaxy, not the galaxy, but make the system resemble our our galaxy map, in that the star will be at the center of the solar system with the planets orbiting it, and the star will be an object in space that we can uh, interact with or travel to, or something. But planetary rotations, I think, is potentially on its way. I just don't see them not doing this. That's awesome, James. A hell of a lot of oxygen. Jeez. Come on. Come on, get to the top. I want to see that lonely tree on top of that floating island. Cuzwalt says winter and summer on planets then. That's what I'm hoping for. Like I'm thinking multiple biomes on each planet, man. Especially if they add planetary rotation, it would make sense. You know what I mean? And the physics of the game, it would make sense. So I'm really hoping to see that. When will they ever have NPCs walk about and get off their ship like we do? Man, you know, I've been waiting on that for a long time. And the only thing that keeps me sort of positive about that is that, you know, a lot of people say a lot of nice things about Elite Dangerous, but in Elite Dangerous you can't walk around and get out of your ship and walk around the space station. So I think that that's just one more advantage that would put this game, you know, in sort of the same realm as Elite Dangerous. If we can see NPCs walking around, the game will feel more, I guess, lived in or populated. Which, you know, certain areas you don't want that feeling in, but if you're in a, you know, a system with a high economy that, you know, is owned by some civilization, then yeah, I'd love to see those NPCs walking around. If you're in a system that's undiscovered and uncharted and there's no space station or anything there, then obviously I wouldn't expect to see those things. So I'd love to see those sort of dynamics. Chase says, I believe they had planetary rotation once when developing it, but it caused too many issues for the engine to handle over spec rigs. Yeah, it was either something like that, Chase, or my recollection was that playtesters found it too difficult to navigate and they didn't find it interesting enough. But we could both be right, however. Chase said, however, they made it an option to turn on-off planetary system rotation along with adding the sun. That'd be awesome. Also, seasons would make me a happy man. Yeah, dude, how cool would it be that one time you visit the planet and it's sort of like warm and subtropical, and then you come back a couple months later and you notice that it's fucking frozen, you know? It would make traveling back to planets after you visited them much more interesting, I would say. I love these floating islands. I've always been a fan of these. I remember when Sean Murray was first developing No Man's Sky, and they were working on it. One of the things that he said was that before you can break the rules of physics or gravity, that you have to know them first. And I think that they incorporated a lot of that into the floating islands. That you have like this sort of somewhat realistic and recognizable, relatable terrain, and then you have like a fucking rock just floating above it. That doesn't make any sense, and it adds to the alien feeling of everything, which I can appreciate. Alright, so this is just a sort of a plain desert planet. We're going to move on. We're going to see if there's any other planets in this system, and if not, we'll travel to the next system nearby. So. I haven't seen one of these in a while. Oh shit, we got J-Spot J in the chat. What's going on, dude? Welcome back. Thank you for joining the chat. Cuz Walt giving J-Spot J some love. Chase Benson says, not to mention if they buffed up the micromanagement for base building, like making more tech to protect against elements or else the building gets damaged. Yeah, that would add a lot more interest to base building. I mean, right now when you build a base, your way of protecting the base, like if you go to Fiji, if you look at what I did with Fiji, I have it set to where I'm the only one that can add or delete things from the base. So I took my base computer and I built a little a hut right around the top of it. Covers up the base computer. And the reason I did that is because I'm the only one that can mess with it. So if anybody comes to the base, they can't report me or they can't do anything because they can't access the base computer. It's my only form of defense. But if I had other dangers to worry about, like other players that could come potentially steal my things or, attack my base and break down, my defenses, that would be really cool. And it would also sort of propel me to travel back to bases that I built to check on them and see what's going on. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to go make myself another drink. Not that you guys are particularly interested, but I'm sipping on this scotch called Balvenie. And it's a 14-year-old single malt scotch that's been aged in rum casks, so it kind of gives it a nice color and a little bit of a sweeter taste. Alright, let's see what we got here. Chase Benson says, bro, turrets and stuff for keeping players away. Dude, it would be sick. Could you imagine how cool this game would be? Like, dude, Chase, I'm 100% on board with what you're saying, bro. Like, imagine there being, like, a tower defense element to this game. That would be the fucking shit. Like, think about that. Like, yeah, dude, like, putting up turrets or shields and things like that. And then you've got to go back and visit your bases to shore up your resources so that they can continue to be defended. I think that'd be a cool idea. Plus, it would add sort of consequences for building bases. It's like you can build unlimited and build whatever you want, but not without consequence, which is cool. Guys, we got the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, the motherfucking Dave Langer in the goddamn chat. What's going on, Dave?
What up?
Hell yeah, dude.
Don't mind my cold.
Dude, everybody's sick right now. My wife is sick. I'll probably end up getting sick.
I've had it for a week now.
Damn. It's a bummer, dude.
Hell yeah.
Bro, so real talk, I visited Cloud City at least
did you?
once almost every time I played No Man's Sky in the last week and a half.
Hell yeah.
That is a great base.
Thanks. What we should do as a group, go to another high point in the in that system and make one of those like I think people putting in those like giant like space stations like in space, because if you keep building up high enough you can get into space. We should try to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I did so in the first episode of my Hub Highlight series, in my playlist that I have going on right now, Sword actually built a floating base that was in a planet's orbit.
Yep. Is he the one that did it on Reddit, or is that a different guy?
I'm not sure. I'm not on Reddit a whole lot,
Okay.
if I'm being honest.
Because the one on Reddit looked pretty awesome. And they got it pretty high in orbit, too.
Yeah, Swords it's pretty high up there. It's a good, like, I don't want to overstate it, but I want to say it's a good like 30 plus seconds if you jump off it to the surface.
Awesome.
It's crazy what people have figured out how to do, man. Dude, I
Yeah,
really
they kind of have to
thought,
like build a ladder up, and then like then
Yeah.
do a second base like when you get high enough, and then you can build like on that, and then you just erase everything below it.
yeah, Hidden was telling me that's probably what he did, and I haven't
Yeah.
tried that, but I want to give that a shot because I've got some kind of cool ideas for that. Dude, I really thought we were going to get an update around Christmas, man. I was actually kind of disappointed we didn't get one.
Well, I think they said once that timer hit like that, like
With the
30-day
community
timer, that it's like that will probably be the next update in my opinion. So,
that makes sense.
and PS4 isn't doing very well. I mean, Xbox One already hit the tier 1, and we still have like what 10% to go.
Yeah, people haven't really been doing this one as much, I've noticed.
Well, I think it might be too that people like you, me, Coswalt, Cody, like we'll do the max for like in the past we'll do the max, so we're kind of like picking up a slack for the people that don't really do it, whereas now you can only do it once, and it's kind of like it's showing now that
Right.
that we're getting behind. So
real quick in the chat, we got, wow, I'm just really excited on the ideas, man. Hell yeah, Chase. Dude, I really think those are great ideas for bases. Like, do I think we're gonna get those anytime soon? Probably not, right? But, like, ultimately, I think they're gonna get there. Like, I think a tower defense, like, what do you think, Dave? I think a tower defense system for base building is awesome.
Oh no, but we're getting that for sure, because if you look at the data mine stuff, in one of the updates we're gonna get turrets. So why would you have turrets if you're not gonna have like a tower defense type minigame for our base?
That's exciting. Like, if you roll up on another player's base and shoot it with your starship, I want that base to be able to respond to that attack.
Right. And maybe too, like, let us have like what do you call them? Like walkers to like protect our base too. I'm not sure if we have to build it or or maybe hack one, to like make it our own. But that kind of stuff could be really cool too.
Well, right now you can kill a walker and get walker brain, right? So it's just one additional step that wouldn't be too difficult to have to defeat a walker enough to where you can jump on it and reprogram it for your own benefit, and then you can assign it security detail at one of your bases, which is awesome.
Right, exactly.
That would be cool, like if they were to sort of do that feature. James Crockett says, "Can I have a friend request from you? It would be nice to have you as a friend." Yeah, what's your PSN, man? Put it in the chat, James. Cuswalt says, "I like the color scheme of that outpost." Yeah, dude, I love that sort of like rust kind of brown color. It's pretty sweet. Chase says, "Are we about to overhype the future of this game?" I feel like we've gone down this this route before, dude. To be fair, like once we got next, I went. So I've gone back and I've looked at previous videos where I've like speculated on like what's gonna happen in the game or like where the game could go or stuff like that, and they have given me more than I thought we would get. If that
right, exactly. Sense. Like most stuff that we predicted, like we've gotten, and then some more that we didn't predict that we got.
Yeah.
Like people want base building, from the very beginning, and then they gave it to us. People wanted like the exocraft stuff. We got that. Oh, we want to freaking stuff. That'd be freaking amazing. We got that. The whole like before they had the portals. I'm like, well, they should probably make it like Stargate, and they freaking gave us like Stargate, portals. So they basically listen to what we want, and then they put it in the game. So I think at some point we'll get like shipbuilding, like dungeons and all that crap.
I just found a fucking badass planet. No, I agree, man. It's like I'm sort of, I'll speculate, but like I'm done feeling guilty about it, because they've always shown me like my speculation is not enough. Like we've always gotten way more than we bargained for, which is cool.
And we do have that roadmap, so we kind of have an idea of where it's going.
Yeah, they're gonna knock off everything
from its
on
survey.
That list.
I just hope we never get VR though, because they shouldn't waste time doing VR until the end. They can do that last when they're done with the game, but I mean, I would much rather have like them add more like robust stuff to the game than just say, oh, here's VR, you know.
Well, I think when you look at the statistics on the survey, VR was probably one of the lowest things on
I
people's
agree.
lists because it's such a niche thing.
Hmm.
I mean, PlayStation VR is the number one selling VR system on Earth. I think it would be a good selling point for PlayStation VR if No Man's Sky came to VR because it could possibly be one of the best implementations of it. Um, but
Right.
that being said, there's a lot of other things they can do with this game that I don't think VR should take the place of right now. But yeah, I do
Exactly.
want it.
That's my point. Right. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love this planet. The
I will
fog,
have to come check it out.
dude, it's got pink sky, mist. Like, it's hard to explain. You have to see it. There's something about this planet that speaks to me. And I think I want to slap a base computer down right at this fucking shoreline right here. I think I'm gonna do that.
There you go. Something else they had in the what do you call it? Data mine files with all that food crafting. And I am curious what they would do for that. I mean, I would hope, if they go that route, it's for more survival stuff, just to make it that much more difficult. Because right now, survival mode is pretty easy after you get past the first like hurdle.
Right. Maybe it's not even for the player. Maybe if they implement
Right.
something like that, maybe it's for like you can have a mount or some sort of
That'd be
pet.
cool. Or a
And
zoo would be freaking amazing.
yeah, and you craft food to feed them. It'd be like having a three-dimensional Tamagotchi pet.
Yeah.
Slapping fucking base computer down. I love this spot. This planet's cool as shit.
I like the orange or red grass too. It's pretty cool. But yeah, also in the data mine stuff, they did have all the like ship customizing. Also for your multi-tool, you can customize it. So
Yeah,
all that stuff should be coming at some point.
I still think that we should be able to carry more than one multi-tool.
I agree. I mean, maybe what they can do is make multi-tools like multi-functioning, where like you'll have one for like battling, one for like mining, and one for like like scanning. Then you can carry like 3 or 4.
That would be cool. So you can wield different specializations.
Right.
And instead of having to decide which route you're going to go and stick with it with just that one weapon. Because right now I try to keep my weapon balanced between scanning, mining, and offense.
Yeah, same
And
here.
it would be nice to have different weapons cater to different things.
Right,
Um,
and you could also make it like the rifles could be more for like fighting or whatever, and then the pistols are more for like maybe scanning or something.
exactly.
Then have the alien be the hybrid stuff that can be like all 3 if you want to go that route.
So Cuzwalt says, Danger Dave in the house. I live on that road, Chase. Not sure what he meant there.
What do you say?
Oh, about overhyping. Okay.
Oh.
Kendall Southwick says PC is 3% in Tier 2. Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
see, PS4,
Nice.
man, they're like way far behind.
Yeah, we gotta get our shit together. We're being
Which is
lazy.
kind of weird because we were first for the most part.
Chase says, we're set the hostility of your turrets. Yeah, just anybody that flies over, just fucking attack it. And Kendall Southwick says, multi-passenger exocraft would be nice. Multi-passenger ships in general. I think that they should
Oh yeah,
introduce a new size ship that is a cargo ship that is multi-crew and can carry an exocraft. I think that would be really interesting to be
Right.
able to fly that with a crew of your friends, and then land on a planet and drive out of it with an exocraft. That way, you don't have to use resources to build a geobay.
Yep.
You know, make it expensive, make it difficult to obtain, but it'd be really cool to have. Um,
Or you could just have like you could just have the what do you call it? Like in the what do you call it? In that ship, you would just have that terminal right there that you can just like pull it to that point. Like
right.
the exocraft terminal, like built into the ship.
It would be a feature of that ship. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And Chase says the game has definitely caught up to the expectations, but at the beginning it was far too overhyped. Yeah, I think anybody that's being honest with themselves would agree with that, Chase. I think that people's expectations kind of grew out of control, and Hello Games really did not help mitigate them. That being said, um, they've given us everything they've promised and so much more. So I think that at this point, we're good. And as far as
Yeah.
like overhyping is concerned, there's let's be understanding that there's a difference between hyping and speculating and expecting, right? So we're not hyping anything, we're
Exactly.
just speculating cool features that could come, and then as long as we don't expect that, then we should be fine, right? I think that Hello Games kind of skims the community. They watch the different, YouTube channels out there. Not saying they've seen this channel. This is such a small channel. I doubt that they even know who the fuck Panda is. But they skim YouTube and all the different communities, and they have a good idea of what people are looking at, what people
Right.
would like to see in the game, and I think they make a valiant effort to sort of bring that to fruition. Um, Chase
Yeah, like
Benson
Cobra,
says,
like Cobra's seen for sure. Like,
yeah,
so what people say on Cobra's stream, Hello Game sees that shit.
100%. Like if people get in the subcast and talk about things they'd like to see, that definitely gets seen. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy has interviewed one of their employees for fuck's sake. Like they listen to Cobra.
Right.
Chase says, which is why the game is underpopulated because of the negativity. The
No, I
game
disagree with
is
that.
is not underpopulated. There's many
No, it's
people
not.
playing.
They just had the PS4 leak where they figure out how many people are playing. What's like 5 million playing on PS4 alone?
It was
The 5
over
million?
4 million for sure.
Over
Yeah.
4 million. Right. That was a low estimate. Over 4 million people playing it, which is a crap ton of people playing.
The problem is that
Um,
PlayStation, because of their relationship with the game developer, doesn't release player numbers, player statistics to the public. That's
right.
only available to the developer. The developer can choose whether or not they want to share that. And in a post from Sean Murray himself not that long ago, he said that one of the things that he was proud of with No Man's Sky Next is that so long after the release of the initial game that they were still seeing AAA player numbers. So just
Yep.
kind of take that with a grain of salt. Even if you look at a minimum, you're talking about millions of global players. So this game is by no means underpopulated. If you're playing on PC, it might seem that way, but most of the
Right. But
players are on
PS4 and
PS4.
Xbox. I mean, Xbox is doing pretty well too. If you watch like Twitch and stuff, there's a ton of people playing on Xbox.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, and that's where most of the positivity comes from because like they weren't they got the game that
Complete.
they should have probably released on launch.
Yep.
So that's why like since it came out on Xbox, um, the reviews have turned around to be mostly positive now.
No, I agree 100%, and I'm fairly certain that Chase is on PC,
Hmm.
which would explain his opinion on that. Because
Right.
PC is sort of dry, and it's one of the like in my hub community, for example, in the FDI, it's one of the areas where we need the most growth. Actually, is in our PC community. It's very hard
Right.
to get PC players. because, and to be fair, uh, there's a lot of similar games on PC that do this sort of thing well enough that for players who abandon the game early on, they've just stuck with other
Right.
things. Whereas on console, there's just nothing like this.
Right. Well, they have
So,
Elite by the console, but Elite, all the major players are on PC. Um,
mhm,
because PC is where you want to play Elite. But so
for sure. We've got, where are we at in the chat here? Oh, that Planet Sit. Yeah, he says, Chase says, yeah, I'm on PC. Yeah, PC players, I feel bad because you have the best means of playing this game. Um, and with all the different mods and stuff out there that can keep things interesting and flavorful. But there's just not enough of you playing. So it's definitely a part of the community that needs work, is sort of building the PC player base.
yeah, if only they could get crossplay.
Crossplay would be a big help.
But if they did that, they would have to make sure that if you're on PC, you can't use mods because it would keep them an unfair advantage over people on PS4 or an Xbox.
Well, that and any hubs, it would really fuck up those hubs because
Right. You couldn't see the same game they're seeing
right,
if they had
and
any mods installed.
yeah, and if you had bases that existed in the same locations, you couldn't have overlapping. I mean, it would be super confusing.
Oh, that's right. Oh, good point. I didn't think about that.
I don't think it would be a widespread problem for most people in the game, but people that live within hubs, it would definitely be sort of
Well,
like a weird thing.
yeah, because people in hubs, like on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, they try and keep it in the same area, right?
Yep.
So,
And if you look at something like the Galactic Hub, where there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bases on one single planet, it's a lot more likely that bases could overlap each other.
right. Yeah. Well, maybe not, though. Because the bases now can be put anywhere. So, I mean, what are the odds that two people would pick the exact same spot?
That's
You know
very
what I
true.
mean?
That's very, very true. Yeah.
And, like, if they did generate it and they were kind of on the same, they could probably just auto move it, like, to, like, how many, feet over.
Just slide it over.
Yeah. Or maybe, like, if two people are in the same place, just delete both of them and say, hey, you have a one-time, like, free pick where you want to put your new base, and put it there.
It's kind of like they did with Atlas Rises, where you can relaunch an old build,
Right.
or like Next. So like you could take your Atlas Rises base, and you could do the base mission and bring that base into Next.
Right. By the time we do it, when they do a galaxy reset, and they just reset all the bases, and then say, okay, put it, somewhere else.
Yeah. Chase says, I honestly haven't used mods. I don't want to disable achievements. Also, if cross-platform were to happen, they would have to wipe the entire galaxies on all platforms. Literally no other option for that. Yeah, I think Chase
I'd
is
be okay with
on the
that.
same page as you. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be okay with
I
that.
I don't think it could be done any other way.
I mean, in my opinion, to your point, your earlier point, and they should probably do this, is just make one galaxy, because the game's so big already. I mean, there's no need to have like 255 galaxies. And like you can make the one galaxy even bigger, and just like combine all the other galaxies. So you have like well, here's your tranquil like like quadrant. Here's your like like super harsh quadrant. And do it that way.
Yeah, I never understood all the different alternate galaxies and their point. That's why I've never left the Euclid. I don't get the
Right.
appeal. Like, what is the motivation? What is the drive for me to go to Calypso or Islington? You know?
I mean, I think was cool just for the if you like lush stuff. I mean, just seeing like more more of them. But I mean, you could have had maybe 4 or 5 galaxies. Excuse me, and let us travel like between them. But having like 255 is like pointless in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a bit extreme.
Um, so
But they're you know, I mean, I guess there are some advantages or disadvantages either way. But to me, it's just like there's not enough driving to the other galaxies. Like
right.
I don't get it. You know?
And maybe if the challenge got hotter and they had like more like weird stuff in the galaxies, then that could be a point to go there. But it's not too much different between them, so it's kind of like why even do it, you know?
Exactly.
Did you watch Legacy Zero's video on YouTube?
Yeah, about
The
like
10
what?
things he wanted.
Yes,
Yeah, that's a really great video.
I've been watching Legacy Zero for a while, but I'm becoming more and more of a fan. I made that very clear to him.
I like him a lot. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's really good.
Let me see. What's my other one?
He's probably, in terms of his production quality and everything else, he's probably one of my favorite No Man's Sky YouTubers.
Yeah, his quality is up there with Color Clover.
Yep.
They're probably two of the best, like for production wise, for
Yeah,
No Man's Sky stuff.
their editing and everything is so good.
It's like professional, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Kyle's probably the best in my opinion.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Legendary.
Yeah. But like, yeah, stuff like dungeons, they definitely need to have in the game. Um, to give you a point to like walk around the planet and like find stuff. And then maybe give you like, like a rare multi-tool or what I want too is like armor to be different for each body part and have like a bonus on it. Like, like Diablo or even like Destiny or whatever.
I think where this game ultimately will find itself, even if against its own will, is an MMO.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It may not want to be, it may not have ever been intended to be, but this game lends itself so well to being an MMO that they just need to embrace that.
I
I
agree.
just I see that in this.
Well, they kind of are already with the dailies now. I think an MMO thing totally.
Yeah.
Now, if they had more, like, let us do all like 3, or have like a Gek daily, like maybe maybe the Viking like go kill like whatever, but have it be like a real NPCs that you have to kill, like in Destiny or something, not just like animals or whatever. And then like for the Korvax, like go like discover like I don't know whatever, but make the dailies be more interesting than just like the same boring crap that we're doing now, you know.
No, I agree. I think one of the next things that we're gonna get in the next major like titled update is that they're gonna eradicate all orbs. There's gonna be no more boundary failures. It's all gonna be player models.
Yeah, I agree totally. Yeah.
And we'll have 16 player lobbies. And I think as their servers develop over time, I think that's what's limiting everything.
Well, I think what they might do first is it still might just be like 4 or maybe like 8, where like, if you meet someone on your planet that's like, not joining their game, they won't be in orbit anymore. And then they'll probably try to work up to 16.
I think
So
as
maybe
long as
have the limit just be a 4 player lobby. Um, and then, if that works, go to 8. Then if that works, go to 12 and 16.
I think it's gonna go straight to 16. I think the next
I
major
think so.
update. Oh yeah, I think they've been testing it. I think the next major update is gonna, like, because we had 16 orbs and then we got 4 player models and 8 orbs or 12 orbs,
Hmm.
and then I think that the next step is gonna go from 4 player models to 16, because it's just I think for them it was getting the animations worked out, getting the synchronization between players worked out in the same instance, and then making sure that
Yeah.
with the unlimited base building that they had the server capacity to handle it. And then I think that all of that is being updated and being optimized and being expanded upon, so that we can get more player models on deck, like up to 16, and then it might even expand further to having sort of a much larger player count per server.
Well, I think to do that, they're probably getting a dedicated server, won't they?
Well, I guess I'm not really sure the ins and outs of how that works, but I would imagine that that's sort of where things are going to go, and I could be totally wrong, you know.
Oh no, I agree with you totally. That's where it's going to end up at some point.
Yeah, it might take another year or two, but it's going to get there, and then um, I forgot the term that Legacy Zero added that one time, but he basically said that like No Man's Sky is like one of those games where you pay a subscription. The only difference
You
is
play
is that
what?
like Legacy Zero kind of referred to No Man's Sky as like one of those games where you pay a subscription. The only difference is we've been getting it for free. So it's a game where they're adding more and more over time, and they're expanding it and growing it, and
Hmm.
it's like a subscription based game, like Eve Online or something like that. But we just haven't been paying for it, and that
Okay.
they're continuing to sort of give us that sort of experience of having a game that evolves and grows over time, um, like a game where you're paying a subscription to
Right.
play, but we're not paying for it. We just pay that one flat price. I'm heavily paraphrasing what he said, but it was something to
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
degree. Um, Chase Besson says, well, not only, but don't find the others to be very feasible. Okay, other options. Chase Besson says, sorry for stealing that chat. Jesus, come on, mates. What do y'all think? Kendall says, keep the same total number of stars and planets, but only have 32 galaxies.
Even
Yeah,
32 is too many, in my opinion.
yeah, but I mean, I could settle for 32. We got Hidden Jew in the chat. What's that going on, Hidden, man? Hidden says,
The
what's up?
hidden agenda.
Hell yeah, dude. I hope Hidden is watching in his Oculus Go right now. And if so, let me know what that is like, homie. Um, I think that, so if you look at the Galactic Atlas website, you see the Euclid Galaxy, and if you zoom out, it's like nothing but empty space. I think that ultimately what they're gonna go for is that they're gonna string it all together, so that you can freely travel between the different galaxies and back, if as long as you have the technological capacity to do it. So whether that's enough warp, capacity or warp fuel, whatever, I think that they're gonna. I could be wrong. I think they're gonna open everything up. I think they need to do that. I don't like the walls. I don't like the load screens, which we all know the warp animation is a load screen. I don't I,
Hmm.
I, I don't like everything feeling like a level. That's not what they talked about. That's not what they promised. And if there's anything that we know, it's that they've been They've been giving us everything that they promised. They've been fixing all of the complaints that people have. We have, they said no load screens. We have load screens. They're called warp animations, and they need to go away. They need to, at the very least, be replaced by something similar to what Elite Dangerous does, because at least it doesn't break the immersion of traveling
I agree.
through interstellar space.
And like I think at some point it'll come. Is that they'll have like the real sun, and they'll have like the orbit and all that, because I can't see them just randomly adding that to the galaxy map and never putting it in the real game. And plus, like you said, that was their plan all along, to have like planet rotation, orbit, like a real sun, and have a real day-night cycle. So at some point, that's gonna happen too.
Right. Yeah, I've been on record saying that multiple times, that like I can't imagine that they would put the star at the center of the solar system and everything, that they would do all that and show planetary rotations and everything and not actually put it in the game. It just seems like such a slap in the face,
Right.
for them to do
Exactly.
that without them actually putting it in the game. So, I need tritium. Come on, give me tritium. Alright, cool. Hidden Jew says, not yet, I'm outside on my phone right now. Hell yeah, dude. Dude, thanks for stopping by. If I could jump into the chat, man. And we got You Are Godsmack in the chat. What's going on, You Are Godsmack? Appreciate you stopping by, bud. Alright, I got some good tritium. Now it's time to warp to the next system. Where should we go next? I'm picking them at random, ladies and gentlemen.
But also, I can't wait until they start adding stuff like waterfalls, or like volcanoes, or like a real river. That could really add to the planets being different too, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, big time. I mean, just imagine going on a lush planet where you're coming out of a cave and you just see like a wall of water, and it's actually a waterfall off a cliffside.
Yeah.
That leads into a river that's in a forest. Like, it would absolutely sort of. I mean, it would be game changing, literally.
And the multiple biomes too go a long way to make each planet feel unique, because you could like triple or quadruple like what the layout is of the planet, you know.
Oh yeah. You Are Godsmack says, have a great 2019, everybody. Thanks, man. You too, dude.
Yeah, you too.
I hope you have good plans for the new year, You Are Godsmack. Catch some fireworks. Something.
We need to find another stealth No Man's Sky official video for an update.
Dude, yes. Like, how did
Be
that
like,
even
oh, okay.
happen?
I don't know. I think someone was probably just like on the page, like looking for something and saw the video pop up. Or maybe like if like you're following the page, you have the alert set up, and someone goes, "Oh, an alert, new video," and they went to it, and then they copied it and they copied the link, then it got taken down like right away.
Yeah, it's really possible. I see. The thing is, I didn't get that notification, which makes me sad, because I'm signed up for their notifications. I'm gonna make myself another drink real quick. One sec. This time, a gin and tonic,
There you go.
which is my favorite drink. Plus, I don't want to go through the scotch. The scotch was really expensive, and I don't have much left. I tried this new gin. It's normally pretty expensive, but it was on sale at Specs for $29.99. It's called Nolet's or Nolet's dried gin.
Mm-hmm.
It's normally like $70 for this bottle. It's rated the
Damn.
#1 gin. It's called Nolet's Silver Gin. And my favorite gin is Hendrick's, but
Mm-hmm.
Hendrix is rated #3, Tanqueray #10 gin is rated #2, and then this is rated #1. This is apparently some sort of like award-winning gin.
Was it
And,
good?
oh my god, yeah. The juniper is up front, the juniper berry, but then it has like this sort of really peppery, um, like bottom to it, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's got like a spice and a dryness to it, and it's just the right amount of sweetness. But my wife didn't like it. She tried it and she said it was too perfumey. But you know that's kind of what you get when you do gin. That's what you're expecting. It's because of the juniper berry. You're expecting a little perfuminess to it. But
Yep.
she felt that it was a little bit too aromatic. So, but I think it's quite delicious, especially for $30. You know, I'm not in an income bracket where I could just go, you know, 2 times a week go pay fucking $70 for this shit. But
Yeah.
it's very good. Our liquor cabinet is getting quite full. We've been experimenting.
And then it'll be empty out on friggin' New Year's Eve.
Nah, me and the wife already talked about it. We're not going to really do
Oh, did
anything
you?
for New Year's Eve. Yeah, we're going to stay home. We've thrown a party or gone out or done something every year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, we're going to stay home.
Cool.
We're going to have fun, just us two. We're going to get lit and fucking pass out in our own house. I've never seen these plants before on this toxic planet. I'm kind of liking these plants. Okay, that's a big fucking mountain. I'm going to it. That is a huge mountain. Good lord.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job with having the mountains be a lot bigger now.
Oh my god, what is this
And they're
thing?
still pretty rare to find, but when you find them, they're worth it.
Holy shit. What?
Oh, I'm full? Shit.
Holy cow. Not seen anything like that before, that's cool. Yeah, this planet's toxic as fucking, it's killing me. I think I'm just gonna fly to that mountain. I was gonna go on foot, but Change my mind. I still haven't come across those rocks that get up and run away from you. Have you seen those yet?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, I have not seen them.
I've seen like the rock that keep rolling, like, you know, all the time. But not the kind that run away when you shoot them. My game doesn't have rainbows, so.
We don't know that for sure.
I don't know. I haven't seen one yet, and like we were in the same exact place, and you saw a rainbow and I didn't. So.
Yeah, it might be a PS4 Pro thing.
It might be.
Dude, this is fucking high, bro. Oh shit. This is way up there. I'm putting a base computer up here, dude. I'm putting a base computer over there. Holy cow. Is that mountain even higher? I can't tell. You're right, man. They've done a great job at like
Yeah.
terrain. No, I don't think I will build a base computer here, but it is a cool fucking planet. Oh shit. Come on, go, 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 go.
Did you start building a base on that ringed water planet yet?
Which one?
The one you found out was like a ring, and then like on the water, and it had like a super deep ocean.
Mm-mm. Nope.
No.
Mm-mm. Ooh, the chat got away from me for a second. We've got Kyle R in the chat to welcome back. Kyle R says, it's the well-seen Panda show. So instead of the Hidden Panda show, he calls this the well-seen Panda show. I don't know about that, but thank you. Says, hey man, good to see you. Hello chat. Welcome, dude. Thank you for coming back. Glad to see you as well. Says, staying out of the toxic rain I see. Smart, exactly. I found a super tall mountain here. Really glad to
Oh crap.
find refuge on it, that's for sure. Chase Benson says, grab food and showered since I last tried. What did I miss? Nothing, man. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, this is a chill sort of exploration stream. Just checking out some systems in the Wonsham Void. Not really trying to accomplish anything on this stream, so if you're looking for any objectives to be completed, wrong place. We're just chatting and exploring, and that's really it. Alright. That's how these midnight snack streams usually work. It's just me having a couple of drinks while I search for what's out there in No Man's Sky. Chat with you guys. Kendall Southwick says, "Good kitty, kitty, kitty." Heck yeah. Chase Benson says, "I want to see hybrid animals fly and land, land, water, water, fly, and all." Chase, I would settle for something as simple as a bird that's in flight, landing in a tree, or
There you go.
landing on the ground to pick at something in the soil. I would settle even for that sort of a small behavior change would make me so happy.
Yeah, better animal AI would be key to like, a better game for sure.
hmm Again, it all goes back to the level of immersion that you want to experience in the game.
Right.
So the more believable the different NPC behaviors are, animal behaviors, the more believable the weather anomalies and things. The deeper the immersion that we experience when playing the game, and that's really important. So. Kyle or Chase says, no, I meant in terms of discussion / talk. You didn't miss much. What did we go over since the last time? I think we talked about. We went past the tower defense thing, and we talked about. What else did we touch on? Do you remember?
Like yeah, tower defense, and then the what do you call it? Like having the oh shit, what do you call them? The walkers like be creatable for our bases of defense.
Yeah, that'd be fucking cool. Oh, this storm is bad. I don't think I've ever seen an atmospheric storm that was that rough. That was treacherous. Ooh, this is a blast plant.
What's this stuff? Really? Shit.
Oh yeah, we also talked about what I was drinking. that was one thing, I guess. Fuck. I want to land on this planet, but I know that there's nothing interesting here, really, and it's just gonna cost me.
Yeah.
I do love the sky though of that planet. Alright, that's nice. There she blows. There's ancient bones on this planet. What do you think about that, Dave? What do you think about the ancient bones and the downed satellites? And do you think all of that sort of adds to the depth of the game?
No, it doesn't go far enough. What I want is to let us collect the bones and like rebuild the animal that it should be. So like, have to go around and maybe collect like 20 or 25 like bones of like one creature. And then like you can put it on display on your base after you build it.
So basically just revamping the existing trophy system a bit. So
yeah, right. Exactly.
Instead of just being able to put, flora that you find on exotic planets, maybe you can find bones like you're saying and display those as well as trophies.
Well, you would have the lore behind it, but then you build it to like see what it was,
Right.
Like, because with the bones too, Holly, you're just like selling them basically for money. It's like, well, at this point in the game, you don't really need money, so like, why even have those? I'd rather have us, have a creation thing where you can make something out of it than just like sell it for like money.
I'm not gonna waste my time
And
money
it'd
on
be
this
cool to
one.
have like a Gex skeleton or something like, in your base, or like, a giant dinosaur, like, in your base. And don't make it easy to like get all the ones you need. Like you could probably have like maybe 20 or 25 different things that you can create, and you have to like just find them all. Um, but I don't know, I wanted something like that to give us more stuff to do.
And it could be on the total opposite side of the planet as well.
Right.
Like for example, well, no, that wouldn't make any sense actually. But yeah, I see what you're saying. They should make it more difficult to find. That way, it's more rewarding.
Right.
Oh shit, we got Gaming Lime in the chat. Welcome, Gaming Lime. Welcome back, I should say. Gaming Lime says, "Hey, I made it." And I think it does add something to the game. Not much, but it lets us know more, so that there are realer worlds. Yeah, that there's creatures that had lived there one time, that had roamed those planets, or satellites that had orbited those worlds that crashed. But I think what Dave is saying is that it doesn't go deep enough with regard to sort of like how we explained, with being able to find multiple bones and then sort of create a composite of the animal that once lived. I think that would be really cool, because you might find this head or this rib cage or this leg, but then being able to bring all that together and
Right.
put something in your base, kind of gives you the vibe of a paleontologist. Hey, I discovered this flora, this fauna, this fossil.
And they could be they could be all over the planet. I mean, you can just like, pretend, that that's okay, but it would give you a reason to walk around the whole planet, like looking for the bones of one,
Right.
of one animal. And you could have maybe a smaller one, like 1 of 5, then like 1 of 25, 1 of 50, or whatever, If you want to find like a giant, Diplo type animal.
Like 1 of 100. I mean,
Yeah,
like
right,
you
exactly.
get like an achievement when you put together your first one or something.
Right, yeah. Or even like a one of each different one, like, But just give people a reason to like you go on a planet, and then a reason to like, search it. And that's why I think dungeons would be pretty big too, You find like a dungeon, you go into it, and then like there's puzzles you have to like, like a real puzzle, not the crappy like number puzzles. And then even have like a multiplayer one where you need like 2 or 3 people or 4 people to like complete it, and at the end you get a reward, like, something unique, like, a piece of armor, or like a weapon, or a rare attachment,
Oh, yeah. Dude, every planet in this system is like dead. Every single one.
Oh, really?
Not dead, but it's just like there's nothing redeeming about it. I'll let my scanner recharge and try again one more time. Forsaken planet. Let's see what that's got. I think this is going to be one of those like hectagonal planets, exotic planets.
Or Forsaken might be the black and white one.
That's true. Chase says, found a radioactive planet with extreme acid green rain in the sky, and mist is green. All planets bioluminescent green, all black's green. Cannot see shit at all when flying. Yeah, dude. I bet that's fucking crazy. Gaming Life says it would be sort of hard to implement the system or that system due to all the variations of creatures. So I guess this is going back to your dinosaur comment. It would be,
Oh,
and
what
he
you
said,
say?
and so he said it it would be hard to implement that system due to all the variations of creatures, and it would take a while to actually get all those variations built in. So I'm expecting little steps. I'm also expecting the next update to come out mid to late January. That's my prediction. And I'll tell you this, Dave. Uh, Gaming Lime is pretty goddamn good with his predictions. But
Hmm.
anyway,
Oh, I don't think that's coming anytime soon. I'm just saying I want to see something like that implemented where, like, you can put them together, um, you know, as a reason to like track them down than just like, oh, you can make money from them.
yep,
Because
that's
I have
true.
like what 3 billion units. So I'm kind of like, well, why even go look for that? Oh, I see it in the distance. Okay, well, what's the point in going to look at it? Whereas if you can build it, oh, I want to go see what part that is, so like see if I can finish my build.
I do like how if you're a new player to the game, there's so many more ways to make money now than there ever have
Oh
been.
yeah.
Like to me, that's excellent. Like that's such a dude. I remember the grind. I remember having to so much shit, scan so many rocks, so many plants, and completely scan so many planets just to get enough money to buy my first freighter. And now it's like they give you your first freighter, and you can make a million
I'm not a
units
fan of that.
in your first day of playing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
No?
But no,
What's the reasoning behind that?
I think that you should have to earn your freighter by buying it, not getting it for free. Um,
You're earning it in the quest.
Not really. I mean, I could see if it was like maybe 30 hours into the game that it was free, maybe, but like it's like 8 hours into the game. Oh, here's your freighter. Here you go, buddy. I don't know. I may be in the minority on that one, but I think that
Are you only saying that because it was so hard for us to get our freighters at the beginning, or do you think that it's just far too easy in general?
I think it makes the game too easy. Um, in general, to like just give it to you that earlier in the game. Maybe like if you would have finished like one of the main quests, then get it then, but not oh, you beat the tutorial. Here's a freighter. But they
Very
just
good
did it.
point.
They just did it because they wanted people to get in on early the frigates and stuff. So I mean, I can see why they did it, but I think, in my opinion, the freighter stuff should be end game stuff, not early game. Whereas when we did it, it was like an end game thing. Oh, you got like 500 million or whatever, and now you can buy a freighter because people don't have anything to strive for now, or to strive for because they get it for free.
And it's random which one you get. So some people, their very first
Right.
freighter could be an
Get like
S
an S
class.
class S class max freighter. It's like what the fuck. So I don't know. That's
Very
why.
true.
Right, and that's how we kind of disagree on the whole like dropping multiplayer thing too, where I think it makes the game like too easy and kind of breaks the game, whereas you kind of like it. But
Yeah, I like it.
because I liked how we had to earn like traveling to like a hub or something, or to meet a friend. Like we had to go work for that to get there. Now it's just like, oh, I'll drop into your game, and then it's like, oh, okay, well that was easy, you know.
I do sort of agree with you on that because I feel like the game has lost a lot of its original charm. I talked about that in the
Hmm.
video that I did not that long ago, where the game was a far cry from what it was intended to be when it came out. The game was supposed to, and this was actually heavily talked about. So anybody that says that this isn't true, they're full of shit.
Hmm.
But the game was actually supposed to be a lonely experience. It
Exactly.
it was supposed to be, sort of you're in this large universe, and that there was always supposed to be the sensation that there are other people out there, and that there was always these things that you would discover, um, that would show that as you travel throughout the universe, you would discover a system that possibly another player had been to, or whatever. That there
Right.
was there was always this sense that the universe was shared, and that there was other people out there, but it was intended to be very lonely. And
Right.
I find that a lot of the time that when I play this game, I intentionally play alone and put myself in situations where I'm not playing with other people often, because that's a dynamic of the original game that released that I
Right.
miss. Um, I like the drop in, drop out co op multiplayer for a lot of
Yeah,
other
I do.
reasons,
Mhm.
but in terms of being a hardcore, like, No Man's Sky fan, like day one player, the game has lost its initial sort of meaning.
Right.
You
And like
know,
the cool thing too back then was, you'd be going through, it's like, oh, you discovered the system, blah, blah, blah. You play for like 20 hours, and it's like, oh, you go into a system and somebody else discovered it. Like, holy shit, there was somebody here. And like they named the system or whatever and the planets. And that was freaking cool. But now it's kind of like you can just drop in and you don't get that like wonderment anymore that, oh, someone was actually here and that you happen to like, what do you call it? Discover.
it's not as amazing anymore because it's so
Right,
easy.
exactly. Right. And like the thing too is like when people like, when you first want to go to a hub where all your friends are at, you would play like black hole roulette or just do it the hard way, like jumping like, 1,000 times or whatever. And then when you got there, you're like, holy crap, that was an accomplishment. But now you can be like, oh, let me try and pen this game, and now I'm in the hub. It's kind of like you take away all that work and all that, you don't feel it's accomplished because you did it the hard way, you know.
Me and Hidden have actually talked about doing another pilgrimage from the Delta
Mhm.
back to the Galactic Hub, just to re-experience that feeling of having to travel so far to get to a hub
Right.
by doing black hole
Because
roulette and warping.
well, black hole roulette does not work anymore because each black hole goes to a certain spot and that only that spot now.
Really?
It's not. It's not random anymore.
Well, so the only thing that's changed then is that you just have to find a different black hole and go through that one and hope that
Right.
it drops close.
Right.
Even that's not that bad. So yeah, it's not technically black hole roulette, but it's not, it's not that crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I remember when I first joined this community because I didn't know anybody else that played the game or that liked the game. And I
Yep.
remember seeing Boondock, and I remember seeing Just Jared, and they were traveling to the Galactic Hub, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? And not only is there people that play this game, but like they're all going to an area of space where they can all hang out with each other.
Together. Right.
Right. Together. They're all converging on a certain point. And then like Unification Day and all that kind of
Was
stuff too.
awesome.
Yeah. It was amazing because despite the game preventing you from doing it, like we found a way. You know?
Right.
And then now the game has made that so much easier, and for a lot of reasons I like that, but then for a few reasons I really don't either.
Yeah. I mean, making it easier, it takes a lot of the gameplay or fun, in my opinion, out of it. Um, like the whole point of No Man's Sky on the whole point, but like it's like traveling through space. But basically, the way it is now, a lot of people don't really travel through space anymore. They just unless I have to for like a mission, or I'll be like, oh, let me go check for a new like planet to like fuck around on. But like the traveling was a freaking cool part of going through like 2,000 like systems to get to the hub. Whereas now it's like, all right, here's a one button click, I'm there, and then it's like, go home,
Dude, this is 100% true. And Hidden, if he's still in the chat, can attest to this. It took me so long to get to the Galactic Hub that the day after I got there, Atlas Rises updated.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. I was only in the Galactic Hub for one day, and then Atlas Rises ruined it, reset the universe, and ruined everyone's planets, and the Galactic Hub moved the day after I got there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it took fucking forever to get there. I later found out through the Behefu Pilgrim Starpath map that my starting system was in the far corner of the Delta Quadrant, and in the corner at the edge of space. And to know that I had traveled from there to Gamma and settled on Todorki, which was Andy Krychek's system.
Yep.
To this day, it still blows my mind. And then I made that journey back to the Delta, where I started, where my character in No Man's Sky was born. I made that journey back and started my own hub there. Which is, it's fucking insane. The amount of, and I've been to Amino Hub, and I've been to the Pilgrim Star Planet, Duata Denim or whatever it's called. I've been in AGT space over in, so I've been to Beta Quadrant. I've probably traveled millions of actual light years in this game. Like before.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like.
Yep.
Like I've put my time in for sure.
Right. And the other thing too is like, out of the portals, you could travel to where your friends are by putting in the coordinates, but you have to earn getting all of the glyphs to reach like where they are. So like, at least you have to work like through a 20-hour storyline to like get all those to be able to like go to where your friends are like right away, which I thought was okay.
And
but even with that,
it still wasn't easy. You had to get there. You had to build a signal booster. You had to find a base. You had to travel to the base. You had to claim it. You had to go back
and then
to
go
where
back
you through the portal, take your ship to a space station, and then terminus back. Like everything.
Right. So you earned it.
Yeah. Everything about traveling was difficult before.
Right. And like, does anybody really use portals anymore? That they have the drop-in multiplayer? Not really, right?
If I'm being honest, I haven't used the portal since No Man's Sky's next dropped. I haven't used the portal once.
Right. Yeah. The only time we have used portals is for the daily event where they make you do it, but you don't have to charge it. They give it to you for free. So like you're not really using a portal anymore. That's why I don't like drop-in multiplayer.
Yeah, I
now,
totally get your point. I totally get it.
Maybe what they could have done was like give you that option after you like beat like all the storylines.
Right.
Or you get all the glyphs or something, then you can make an item that you have to craft. Like, okay, how about the Starseed thing, right? Like that thing where you have to craft that, then you can drop into someone's game, but you have to make that first and earn it. Then I'd be okay with that,
Right.
But I just think drop-in has broken a lot of parts of the game, like exploration, like portals and all that.
But at the same side of that token, for new players that are coming in that want a casual experience, the game is so much more accessible now. So for like us old heads that like put in that time, it's kind of like real life, right? Like if you think about it, like as you get older, you look at the young kids, And you're like, dude, it was so much harder when I was younger. Like, you guys have it so easy.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand what it's like to really have to earn something, right? You sort of feel like that old dad, or that old grandpa, where you're like, man, I walked 30 miles in the fucking snow and sleet to get to school, right?
Right.
And it's kind of like that. It's like we look back with sort of a nostalgia to a time that's gone, and we're like, man, you don't have any idea what that was like. And there's a certain level of fondness to that. But for the new players that are just coming on board, it's like they're looking at that and they're like, okay, the game is so much more accessible. It's like I
Hmm.
can jump in, I can get started, I can get to, I can get in there with everybody else, and you know, from within a couple of days, I can start building bases and building my frigate, and it's a much more accessible game. So for the mainstream audience, all these changes have been great. But for us, for the old school guys, the way that you traverse the universe now, I totally get it. It's
Yeah.
like it was so much harder for us that we felt like we deserved it, and then now it's so easy that it's like frustrating.
Right.
Yeah,
And maybe the happy medium could be too is like, um, when you like start a new game, you could be like, okay, do you want to like start in a random system, or do you want to join your friend's game and start where they are? And then you have that one-time chance to like start where your friends are, um, but only when you're starting a new game.
right.
So that could be like a happy medium where like you could keep oh, I want to hang out with my friends in the game. Okay, well when you throw a new game, you can do that, and then
I still, I don't know. I still wouldn't trade that, the old No Man's Sky for this game. I still think this is the best
oh, I
version
agree,
of it. But yeah, I
but
totally get what you're saying about sort of earning your passage. It's missing the hero's journey, basically. If you take it to the sense of like literature, it's
hmm
missing that trial and tribulation to earn your place in the universe, because you can just get it very easily.
yeah,
Um, where are we at here? So Lava Lamp 64 says, "Hi, been lurking. Welcome, Lava Lamp 64. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by." Um, Gaming Lime says, "Well, then again, it's more arcade-like game. That's been their focus, and I guess I also wanted to introduce a bunch of new things to new players like freighters." Yeah, the game has always been sort of arcadey, but I think that was more or less because the game is an indie game built by indie developers,
right,
and that it was never really meant to be a simulator. So naturally, it's going to feel sort of arcadey, and I don't think that was the intention, but more or less just sort of the consequence. Um, Kyle says, definitely too easy to get a freighter in this game, but I like that. See, so for players out there, especially new players, not saying that Kyle is a new player, and I don't actually know, but for a lot of people out there, it's, the first freighter that I bought at No Man's Sky cost me 7 million units. It took forever to get that 7 million units. And then Pathfinder came around, and my next freighter cost me 18 million units. Those units, I had to claim a base, build a farm, and craft the dog shit out of lubricant and sell it at space stations
yep.
to get enough money to buy that 18 million unit freighter. Then my
And that took like
next,
what 20 hours to do that shit, So you
yeah,
earned that money
you
that you
did.
made.
And then my next freighter was 100 and something million, and then it was the next one was 120 something or 220 something million. So I had to progressively get better at grinding, farming, crafting in order to get those freighters. Now you do a story mission and you get one. So
Right away,
I'm
which is
right. So because I had to work so hard to get mine, I'm a bit bitter about that. But again, it goes back to the accessibility for new players. New players can come in, they can get the game, fucking 10 hours into the game. They've got everything that they need to get in order to really enjoy the survival and exploration aspects. Um, So it's kind of, it's a double-edged sword. It's like both positive but also negative. Um, Gaming Lime says new people would be intimidated by taking it too long to get a freighter and all. Exactly. We just kind of touched on that as well. So I
I don't know,
think
but look, it'll be dangerous though if they like, said, "Oh, you can get the best ship in the game the first 10 hours in the game." People would fucking hate that.
right, but Elite's also a simulator. It's different. It's going for that.
I guess. I mean,
Then
I think
again,
it's just a lot of people want to have the best shit right in the beginning of the game, but I like to work towards that to like, quote unquote earn it or have a
right,
goal to like get it because like once you like get the freighter and all that, it's kind of like, well, what do you have to work for now? You know.
right.
That's why I love starting No Man's Sky over, it's not like a million times, it's because I like the progression system, and now it's kind of like too easy now. So, I don't know.
Well, and also too, it goes back to like it goes back to the game ultimately is supposed to be a lonely survival experience, and if it's too easy to survive, that element is immediately missing then, and that takes away
Right.
from one sort of dynamic of the core gameplay experience. But some people may not miss that.
But
Gaming Line says, in the end, I believe that they want to take away some of the grind to make it more fun. That's very true, and I think Dave could also agree with that. That's kind of what they're going for now. They're no longer going for the you're by yourself in a big universe and you're having to grind to stay alive. Now they're going for, hey, hang out with your friends and shoot these fucking
right.
sentinels.
Hmm.
So,
Totally.
Kyle says, if you're exploring the universe, then it's better to do it with other people. Uh, that's true, but it's also not true. Kyle, I actually spend a majority of my time playing alone. It's my preferred way of playing. But that's because that's what I really liked about the original version of No Man's Sky, was that aspect of feeling really small in a giant universe and being by yourself, and having to sort of fend for yourself and make your way. Um, so to me, that's my sense of fun. And then every now and again, I'll jump in with some friends. But for the most part, this is the solo experience for me. Um, Gaming Lamb says they have stated themselves that they completely changed the game from what the original had. Yeah, they did it, and we talked about this earlier in the stream. Gaming Lamb, Dave brought up a good point. They listened to the audience, and a majority of the players were saying, "This is what we want." So Hello Games gave us that, and so I could sit here all day and say I love the original experience and all this other kind of shit, and I miss the grind and all this other kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is that the majority spoke, and Hello Games listened, and they gave us what a majority of the people wanted, and I can do
Well,
nothing but commend them for that.
the thing is too, they can do both because like they have survival mode, which is supposed to be a harder mode for more of a challenge. So like in that mode, they could revamp it where you don't get the freighter until like later on, like you used to. They can make it where you like can't do like drop in or and you could have the food like eating where you have to eat to like survive to make it harder, just stuff like that. They could put in survival mode and make it more difficult.
Yeah, they sort of want to cater to everybody, don't they? With all these different
Right.
modes. So with creative mode, they want to cater to the person who wants instant gratification, doesn't want to earn anything. They just want the sandbox. And then you've got survival mode where they want normal mode, but they want it to be harder because they found normal mode too
Right.
easy. And then you have permadeath, where those people, they want consequences and challenge, and they want sort of a finite existence that it can just end, and everything goes with it. And
Exactly.
it seems like they've step by step sort of incorporated many different aspects to fulfill many different I guess fantasies, for lack of a better word, in No Man's Sky, um, across all different player types, which is really cool. And this is a game that's revolutionary, and that they're constantly working on improving. Right? This is sort of a playground. Um, I think it's fair to say that this isn't even a game. This isn't even a beta. It's just sort of this is them fucking around. Um, for I don't have a better phrase to really say that, but I mean, would you agree with that, Dave? That this is sort of just Hello Games at this point. They're just having fun.
Yeah, basically they just, making the game and then taking our input and like revamping based on what their fans want.
Yeah.
Which is definitely how you want to do it.
I still think to this day that Sean Murray um, goes into his office and he plugs in the vanilla version for No Man's Sky, and he fucking plays that. I still think that to this day.
Oh, I agree totally, because like he was all like giddy about how like a bunch of players still play the vanilla version of No Man's Sky. Like, he loved
Yeah.
that. He was super happy people still play that version. So yeah, I agree totally.
Yeah, that was the version that he always wanted to put out there. And to be honest, I think that what he put out in 2016 to him, for the most part, was what he wanted to release. I think that was the vision for the game that he had. And if you go back, and it's really easy to do if you have a physical copy of the game, you just create a backup save for your next shit, and just uninstall the game and all that other stuff, and then disconnect yourself from the internet, and then put the disc in and play the 1.0 version, and you'll get a really good sense for what
Well,
Sean Murray wanted all along. That game, it was much more difficult to find lush planets. Most of the planets you came across were dead. When you did find a lush planet, it was incredibly special. Finding life was incredibly special. And the game was deeply and unnervingly lonely. And I think that that's what it was supposed to be. And I was happy with that game.
well, technically, if you play it that way, you get the zero version of the game, because
Yeah, the
there's a
1.0.
big day one patch the day the game came out, which did change the game dramatically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
If you disconnect it from the internet,
so
you play the 1.0 vanilla version.
right, but I'm saying like not only a very few people played that version of the game though, because we got a day one patch when the game came out that did change the game. Remember?
And oh yeah, no, I do. And if you guys that are watching the stream right now, if you really want to see what that game looked like, and how that functioned, Mac 4 a Day, if you go to his channel, he did a really good series. Like, it's probably my favorite thing Mac 4 Day's ever done. But he went back and he played like the 1.0 version of No Man's Sky, like without the day one patch, like the straight up vanilla version, like the Dave Langer's talking about. Um, he streamed that, and yeah, it'll really open your eyes to sort of what this game was like before. And a lot of those components I miss to this day still. I miss, I'm sure Dave will agree, I miss
Hmm.
uh, how rare lush planets were. The first lush planet I found, I had warped over 20 systems. So I had everything was dead. A moon, it was radioactive, dead, low atmosphere, whatever. And the very first lush planet I ever found had blue grass and purple trees, and it was a lush moon around a radioactive planet, and I still remember that fucking planet, and it was
Yeah.
I still remember what I felt like when I found it, because I was like, damn, and it had creatures, and that was my first time in the game seeing creatures. Now it's like every fucking planet you go to, there's an animal. Every planet has a creature. Every planet has a life form.
Yeah, they gotta
But
fix that.
yeah, that wasn't the case before. You really had to look for it, and when you found it, it was so much more satisfying.
Yeah.
And for the
And the
new
caves
players
are
out there,
awesome too. Back
what
then,
was?
the caves,
Caves were way different. Yeah,
like they were way better back then than they are now.
way different. The formation of the caves and the
Yep.
resources that you would find in them were very different. There's a lot of things that I don't like about that version of the game that I'm glad they fixed. But I think that there's still a lot of things that they could learn from that version.
Oh, like what?
So we've kind of touched on them. I think they need to reduce the amount of lush planets that exist. I think
No,
they
I
need
mean,
to.
what didn't you like about the old game?
Oh, I didn't like the quality of life stuff. I didn't like the resource management. I didn't like the
Oh
inventory
yeah,
management.
yeah, it
I
was
didn't.
awful.
I didn't like that you couldn't have more than one ship. I didn't like that you couldn't build a
Yeah.
habitat or own a freight or any of that kind of stuff. Whatever ship you had is what you were stuck with. I didn't like that the ships didn't have classes, that they were all the same, and that
Hmm.
the only benefit to getting any other ship was inventory slots. The rest of the stats didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, they've definitely improved those aspects of it. But in terms of the exploration aspect of the game, will never be like it was that first day that I played. That to me is when it was the most amazing. And players that are new to the game, um, unless they play that version, they're never going to get that experience. But it, like I said, it was so much more gratifying and satisfying when you discovered a lush planet because it was so rare. It was like, holy shit, this is grass. I mean, think about our own solar system. Whenever they came out with No Man's Sky Next, somebody was like, somebody on Twitter, I think it was, they were like, man, fuck this. There's a ringed planet in every system. There's not enough variation.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, I commented, and I was like, we have two ringed planets in our solar system. You fucking idiot. It's like it's actually really, really fucking common in our own galaxy to have a planet with rings, because a lot of planets are very large, and space debris will coalesce into a
Hmm.
ring around those planets, particularly leftovers from comets and ice crystals and things like that. So that person obviously just didn't know space. But it's like, dude, rings are actually really fucking common. What's not common is Earth-like planets. Everything out there is either gas or rocks. That's it. And then every now
I
and
mean,
again, there's like an Earth-like thing, you know?
right. I mean, I do like how they did do the whole like I think half the systems now were like the un what do they call it, uninhabited? Not what do you call it?
Uncharted.
Uncharted. So I'm glad they're kind of going in that direction. I just hope they go more in that direction with the next update.
Oh, bro. And I'm not saying by any means that this was my idea and that Hello Games listened to it, but Dave, I've said this more than one time before this update, before the next update, where I've said on multiple occasions that when I would discover a system and there was already a space station and there were already life forms and there were already buildings there, that I didn't feel like I really discovered that system, and that they
Right.
needed to
I agree.
change that. I've said that many times.
Yep.
And when Next came out and I saw those Uncharted stuff, I love Uncharted systems because I fly in and I find these beautiful planets and this cool stuff, and there's fucking nothing there. No space
Right. There's no
stations, no
aliens on any
NPC.
planet.
Yeah,
Nothing. Yeah.
no
I
buildings.
like that.
I discovered it.
Yep.
And all they've got to do is they've got to add a feature where now that I've discovered it, if I put an installation there, if I put a base computer, if I do anything, that's going to attract things to start to happen on that planet. So then now when I
Right.
come back to that planet later and I see habitats, I see buildings, a space station, then I feel like that was possible because I discovered that system and I made that possible. And I think that's
Right.
where it's going to go. Do you agree?
Well, yeah. Like, because the way you could do it is make it like a Sims type thing, or like both like Surviving Mars type games or whatever, where the new like robust base system will be like you can put people to go work in there, and then like when you're gone, they'll start building shit up more, and then like um, just have it be like that, where you can like take a system of Uncharted, and then maybe like a week or a month later, it'll be like it is now for a charted system, where you have life going there, and like buildings being like made. They should have NPCs that can make a building for you on the planet.
Right. I just want to feel like I've contributed to the population of the planet.
Right.
Yeah.
And like letting us make a space station, like in a Uncharted system, where like we get the profits from that to make money.
Say that again?
Whereas we should be able to make a space station and collect all the profits for that when people buy stuff from it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it was Uncharted before you got there, so now that you're there,
Right.
like, you own a piece of that economy. Yeah, that would be sick. I've never
Exactly.
really thought about
Right.
that, but that's awesome.
Exactly.
Um,
And you can even come in and be like, we all have like, a ton of crap we don't need in our inventory. So like, oh, I'll put glass in here, or like, living glass or whatever. And then like when people come to your station, they can buy it, and then like you'll get all the money that they pay for it. So
Dude,
it's like a real player economy.
I've never seen an anomaly that close to a space station just now on my stream. That was weird. But anyway, so Gaming Lime says, where's it at? Drop-in multiplayer is just an option. If you wanted to, you could still use the portal, which is what I personally do still to keep it. Another focus is creativity with your resources, and if you are given the tools, you can get that part of the game. Lava Lamp 64 says, I started playing in February, but started a new save game 4 weeks ago. Yeah, you know what's really weird, Lava Lamp, is I've not ever started a different save file. Well,
You
actually, I take
haven't?
that back. No, I've got 7 hours in creative, and that was just so that in Atlas Rises I could do the last great Nomad race, which was something that I helped put together for live streams with Cobra and some other people. But I've played almost the entirety of playing since August 2016 on one save file in normal mode. I have
That's
nothing
crazy.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, when
Uh,
Aleph came out, I deleted my day one save
yeah, a lot of people
because
started over.
they didn't have the multiple save files, which I wish they would have put it in at that point, because I could have started over and kept that day one save.
Oh yeah, this is the save that I'm playing on right now is my day one save. This is from
How many hours?
2016. Not that many actually. Like I was actually surprised. So I have almost 800 hours. But like hidden like has over 1,000. Some
Oh
people
wow.
have over 2,000, but I have almost
Yep.
800. And I thought that what I had was a lot.
On my current like save select like thing, right? I have a file. My current file is 135. My second file is 138, and my third file is 174.
Oh wow.
That's three different save files, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I thought I had a lot of time in the game
Yeah,
until
I have
somebody
like 2,000 hours.
let me know that that's actually not a lot of time. So I have like 700 and probably fucking 80 something hours or something like that. And
Hmm.
and and when you think about it, 700 hours is a lot of time. And
Oh yeah,
I'm also super busy, but like Hidden is busier than me, and he has like over 1,000 something hours.
yeah. But did he ever fall asleep with the game in there and running overnight?
I don't know. That I don't know. I bet that probably makes up a good portion of a lot of people's time.
Yeah.
Um, Gaming Lime says, I personally believe that you can play this game currently any way that you want. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like I
Oh
said,
yeah.
Gaming Lime, I think for a lot of us that have been playing the game since the release, it's just nostalgia. It's just that we had to grind so hard and work so hard to get anything in the game. But it's just that, like, when we see that people can just kind of come in new to the game and get everything that took us a year and a half, 2 years to get, it can be frustrating. But yeah, no, you're right. We definitely can play the game any way that we want. Kendall Southwick says, for me, I play 90+% solo. Yeah, dude, same. For whatever reason, bro, I just like being alone in this game. Gaming Lime says, sure, it needs some touching up on the aspect of playing however you want, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good base for that. Oh, it's not. It's
Yeah, but
more than just a pretty good base. So yeah, don't misinterpret what me and Dave are talking about.
but yeah, that's two different things though. Like playing the game how you want isn't how the game's set up now. That's like two different things.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, what we're talking about is how much easier it is to achieve things in the game that
Right.
required much more of a grind previously. You had to it had a different level of you had to earn it. Now it's sort of it's bequeathed. If you complete a story mode mission, it's like here's your freighter. But for me, it was like after I scanned a fucking 1,000 animals and 1,000 plants on 10 different planets, and then some, I was able to get one freighter that was a piece of shit freighter that looked like a penis. That was a Gek freighter. So
Right. And like I said before, like
just different.
in the early game, like the freighter was an end game thing, so you had to work your way up to it. But now it's more of an early game thing, and that's how they give it to you because they want you to like buy all the frigates and do all that stuff.
Yeah, the implementation is just different.
Right.
Both are good, but for entirely different reasons. Um, Lava Lamp says I play 100% solo. Well, I can change that real quick, Lava Lamp. You can join in on my game. I'll put it into the chat for anybody that doesn't have me on PSN.
You'll have to make an Erd baby.
There's my PSN username, and add me. And if you don't want to play alone someday, you don't have to. You can play with me. Um, the Gaming Lamb says, sure, it needs some touching up. Oh, already got there. Gaming Lamb says, Sean Murray, I think, has actually matured his vision of what he wants to do with this game. Undoubtedly, but like what I was saying earlier was, I think that there's a part of him that still goes in his office and plays the original version. because I think that after even with all of the controversy and all of the issues with the launch, I think that ultimately that's the game that he wanted to release. I think he released what he wanted to. Um, yeah, certain aspects of it were missing, and they had the flood in their office, and they lost data, and there's a lot of other things. But I think the that idea for the game, uh, when the game came out, was the closest to that idea that he had. You know, of sort of the '70s sci-fi, being alone, lost in space, surviving kind of thing. It was sort of, I think he achieved what he was going for. Um, Gaming Lamb says, also, if I remember correctly, the original version, Sean Murray said it wasn't exactly what he wanted to put out, but hey, death threats and Sony pushed him to release an unfinished version. That's a very good point. Maybe I'm wrong on that. That's a very good point, because I seem to remember that now that you mention it. Dave, do you have any comments on that? That, like, the game that
Yeah,
came
Sean
out
Murray.
wasn't really hit what he wanted to do? I always thought that that was closer to what he
No,
actually
he
wanted to
did. Yeah,
release.
because he said everything that they had planned won't be in the game at launch, and that they wish they had another year to, like, work on the game. But they didn't say Sony forced it out, but they did. But he couldn't say that. But, like, yeah, he did say that they wish they had more time to work on the game, and that not everything they said they want in the game will be in it at launch.
Okay, well, there you have it. Gaming Life, good job. Thank you. Um, Chase says, alright, going to head out, everyone. See you later, Chase. Says, love y'all. Merry belated Christmas and happy holidays. And fucking get a PC, people. Chase is needing some PC friends to play No Man's Sky with. So, guys, fucking, if you're playing on PC, please, please, please get in touch with Chase Benson. I'm also, in my hub, I'm trying to grow the PC side of our hub, because we just don't have a lot of people there right now. PC is tough, because most of the people playing are on PS4. Lava Lamp says, I had a power cut while playing, and I crashed every time I reload. The manual and autosave got too much started a new game. Just real quick, Lava Lamp, you could try rebuilding your database, just backing up your save, and rebuilding your PS4 database. That's helped a lot of people, so you never know. And Lava Lamp says, it's super easy now. It took me less than a week to make 500 million units. And it took me like a year to make like 10 million, when the game came out. So that just goes to show you how different everything is.
Yeah, the farming is like way different now.
Oh yeah. Chase says my Steam is _Chase Benson _. So there you go. And he says peace, guys. So if you're playing No Man's Sky on PC, please add Chase Benson. He's a fucking cool ass dude. He's part of my community. He's in my hub, and he plays on PC. And we don't have enough friends for him to play with, so feel free to add him. And then the last comment, so that I'm caught up here, is Gaming Lime says Sean Murray definitely still plays 1.0 for that nostalgia factor, because that whole original controversy was probably sort of humbling in a way. It helped him learn, and now has led into a really good and more finished product. That's very true. And I think that we're actually going to see those lessons learned with the last campfire. I think they're going to be very careful how they promote it. I think they're gonna release it when they're ready. They're gonna control the entire marketing aspect of it, and they're gonna be very, very careful. And I also think that it's gonna be a fucking awesome game, and I hope it comes to the Nintendo Switch so that I can play it while I'm working. But what are your thoughts, Dave, on the last campfire? I'm really excited to see this game. And the main reason is because I think it's Hello Games telling the community, like, hey, we're still a fucking indie developer, and we still make small games. And
Right.
We made this crazy huge game called No Man's Sky, but we also make these little experiences that we're really proud of as well. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. And like I think it has a Flame in the Flood feel to it. I'm not sure if you played that game or not,
Mm-mm.
but I definitely check it out. But it has that kind of feel to it, so I think it'll be a super fun game, you know. And they call it a short, so I mean, I think it won't be more than like, you know, 10, 15 hours tops. So I could probably see the game being between 10 and 20 bucks.
Do you think that they would bring that out to Switch? I know that consoles haven't been announced. Do you think Nintendo Switch would have Hello Games?
Yeah, definitely. They'd be dumb not to. Because that kind of game is like perfect for the Switch, you know.
Right. I was playing this. I was playing this game called Morphite on the Nintendo
Hmm.
Switch. That's actually a very sort of, I get a No Man's Sky kind of feeling from that game. I mean, not quite the same, but close enough. That's a really neat game. Have you heard of that, Morphite?
No.
It's actually a really cool game for the Nintendo Switch. Um, and I've also been playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and this other game called Nine Parchments, which is sort of like Gauntlet. You know, it's kind of like a Diablo type game. But it's really cool. I'm actually really impressed with the Nintendo Switch in general, just as a system,
Yep.
especially for how small it is. So it's a really cool machine. Do you have one?
I don't.
Yeah, whenever you get a chance to fucking try one out, man, give it a go. It's actually really cool. I wonder if it could run No Man's Sky. I wonder if No Man's Sky could be ported to Nintendo Switch. Probably not.
I don't think so.
Doesn't have enough power.
I mean, the PS4 can barely handle it at some points. I mean, I doubt the
Fuck, the
Switch
PS4
could.
Pro can barely handle it at some points.
All right. But hey, a Flame in the Flood is like $5 on PSN.
A Flame in the Flood.
Definitely, yeah, I would definitely check it out for $5.
Yeah, my brother got me $50 in PSN
Oh,
gift certificates for Christmas.
there you
I
go.
was gonna look for some new games to buy. Honestly, I was either gonna buy Assassin's Creed, the new
Hmm.
one, or Red Dead Redemption 2.
There you go.
But I'll also check out that Flame in the Flood game.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Um, Gaming Lime says, where is it? There's also the fact that 1.0 was his original baby, and he gets to see how far he has come with this game from release 2 years ago. Campfire will definitely be on Switch. No doubt in my mind. Nintendo has a system where they allow any developers to put any game they want on the Nintendo eShop. Smash Ultimate is sort of a weird for me because of competitive player in the game. There are some crazy things that ruin it a bit for me. There's a lot of microtransaction type things. You can buy characters, and there's a lot of different things like that. But Super Smash Bros. Is pretty fucking cool though. Yeah, whenever they were at that Inside Xbox thing, and Schamer released that video, he didn't show any footage of No Man's Sky Next, which pissed a lot of people off. But what he showed was ways that No Man's Sky had already changed, and the reason why that was so important for him to do that was because a lot of people were still stuck on the release, and they weren't
Right.
familiar with the game outside of the release. And so he said that and released that video to say, hey, whatever you've heard, the game has changed a lot over the last 2 years, and here's how. And we've had these updates, and we've had these new features added, and we've done all these different things. And then with the last Campfire, it's two guys that it's a passion project for them at
Yeah.
Hello Games. Two dudes, two guys working at Hello Games that put that thing together. And Sean Murray made that very clear, like, hey, this is put together by two guys, on our team, and they worked really hard on this, and we hope you guys like it. And I like that because I think it's them saying, "Hey guys, we gave you 18 quintillion planets and a massively, online game with multiplayer and base building, all this different stuff. But we're still fucking six guys in a closet in Guildford, England, and we're giving you this really cool indie title as well.
Yep.
So don't forget that we're still an indie company, which is really cool that they did that.
And they have another game they're working on too, right? Because they said like in addition to No Man's Sky, they had two games they were working on. So I assume one is The Last Campfire. So they have a second game they're working on too.
And they're probably gonna wait to see how well The Last Campfire does. And if you
Mm,
notice, they released a trailer for it at the Video Game Awards, but you can put it on your Steam wish list because there's not been any systems announced.
right.
So what they're saying is, when we release this game, you'll definitely be able to get it on Steam. But what we want to see what the buzz around this game is, to see what systems we can release this on. And
Right.
to be honest, that game couldn't have costed a lot of money to make. So I would
I
imagine that
guarantee
they
it'll be
stand to
on
make a
Xbox for
lot of
sure.
money from this game. Would you say there's going to be Xbox for sure?
I guarantee it'll be on Xbox for sure because Phil
Distributed by
Spencer is all
505.
about indie companies and 505. Um, because Phil Spencer said he wanted No Man's Sky like a year before it came out, you know.
Yep.
And remember, I used to debate people too on streams, and people like, "Oh, it'll never come up for Xbox." I'm like, "It will." They're like, "You have no proof." I'm like, "Dude, like every time like they ask Sean Murray, oh, well, it's gonna be over Xbox One, they say, well, we can't talk about that right now. Then like a Sony rep would say, hey, let's move along. It's like if it's never gonna come out, they would say no, but they freaking knew it was timed for like what 2 years, and that's why they couldn't say no. But people were just like, no, 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 PS4 exclusive. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of PS4 exclusives that end up over on Xbox. Senua's Sacrifice, Hellblade is one of those. That was a
Mm-hmm.
PS4 exclusive that ended up on Xbox. A lot of these are limited exclusives in the sense that, they're exclusive for a year or two and then they're not.
All right. What the hell was this? That's weird. Huh. Um. Yeah, because like with Spider-Man, for example, um, they said, yeah, this will only be on PS4. It'll never be on any other system. Like they came on and said it right away when they were asked. They didn't like dance around the question or
Yeah, I mean, like, certain games have a limited arrangement, which is good. Like, if you think about the Xbox community, yeah, it sucks they had to wait so long to get No Man's Sky, but also they have this version of No Man's Sky, right? So it's kind of like, the PlayStation 4 got to get all the kinks worked out, and Xbox got a nearly perfect game right out the box.
You know what I wonder about? How like PS4 got Spider-Man, the Switch got what do you call it? Marvel Alliance 3. If that Avenger game it will be for only Xbox.
Hmm, I haven't really thought about that.
Because I
All
hope
I'm,
not, but I mean, I could see that happening, you know.
yeah. All I'm finding tonight, it seems like, is like fucking frozen planets. Everything is ice.
Those are my favorite kind.
Why?
I think they just look the coolest. Like especially like if you find a good like ice moon with like a planet or two on the horizon. They seem to have the best trees, like forest trees too, and I just like how they look overall. Especially if you can
I
find
don't
one that
like that
have like
they added
lakes.
that much trees to frozen planets. I feel like they have way too many trees.
I mean, the frozen planets always had a ton of trees though, and that's why I like them even before. Like when like you couldn't find a lush planet with trees, like you could find a frozen planet with a ton of trees. That might be why I like them, like you know, before. But
I like them too, but like I think what you were about to say was like I like the ones that have like water features, like lakes and
yeah,
maybe an
exactly.
ocean, something like that.
Right.
It would really blow my mind if I turned on the game one day and I saved on a frozen planet and I turned the game on and I'm in a frozen area of a subtropical planet. And all I gotta
That'd
do
be
is
cool.
fly to the other side to find vines and plants and summer type weather.
Has your game glitched out when you go between save? Oh yeah, never mind. You don't have one save, so it probably won't
Nope.
matter for you. But I find if I go between a save, like between like my normal save and my one in Essentum, and I come back, it'll change the planet type that I'm on.
Really.
Yeah, it's weird.
What do you mean? I'm not sure I'm getting that.
So like let's say I'm playing my normal save, right?
Mhm.
And I am like on a lush planet or whatever. If I quit the game and then go into my save on Essentum, then quit that game and come back to my first save, sometimes the planet I'm on will change to a different planet type.
In the same system, or the entire planet itself will just
Oh,
become
the
a
the
different.
entire planet and the system will change too.
That's
So
weird.
I'm not sure if it reverts back to like a different like build of the game, or if my save gets corrupted with Essentum and it thinks I'm still in Essentum, but I'm not. So it kind of like puts me on that planet because you'll see the terrain's different. Like you'll have your base super high in the sky. If it's like low on the ground, it's super weird.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Yeah, the way to fix it is just to like hard quit the game and then reload it, and then it'll fix itself. But yeah, I should try it right now and see if it'll work on this.
Mamie Lamb says, Smash Ultimate is sort of weird for me as a competitive player of the game. There's some crazy things that ruined it a bit for me. Well, more so game mechanics, like I was 0% as Ganon hit and like with an uncharged F smash and then countered and I died. I went flying too fast so I couldn't recover. Smash Bros is too much of a projectile camping game right now as well. I haven't run into those issues so far, Gaming Lamb. I've actually been quite enjoying it. Um, but if I run into those issues, I'll know what to look for. Smash Bros. Oh, Kennel Southwood says, "Take care, everyone. It's nap time for me." Yeah, have a good one, man. It's getting there for me as well.
Yeah, same here. It's like 3:30 where I am.
hmm I was hoping to find more stuff besides just frozen planets, but no luck. um, Probably drank a little too much of that gin and tonic too, because I'm feeling extra tired.
That's not a bad thing. It'll knock you right out.
Yeah, well, especially I'm ADD, so sometimes I just have a really hard time going to sleep at night, and I've got to like
Yeah, I hear that.
all kinds of things. But every now and again, a couple of good gin and tonics. I think I'm on my third one,
Mm-hmm.
um, which it's like the way that I pour them. It's like half the glass is gin, half the glass is tonic. So it's a pretty decent dose. It's got me feeling relaxed.
Oh yeah,
Um,
see, I think I just did it.
Gaming
Let me
Lamb
see.
says, I'm gonna be heading out to sleep. Good to make it to the stream. See you guys. Gaming Lamb, it's been an honor to have you here in the chat, man. And Dave, while I have you on still, I've probably said this to you before, but if I haven't, Gaming Lamb was one of our first subscribers ever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and when he actually subscribed, it was on my personal YouTube channel when me and Hidden were doing streams on my personal YouTube channel before we created the Hidden Panda Show channel. And when we created the Hidden Panda Show channel, he followed us from the original YouTube channel over to the new one that was specifically for streaming, like No Man's Sky and all that kind of stuff. And so Gaming Lime has been here with this channel for a long time, and he's seen it grow from him being one of the first 5 subscribers to now. I think we just got a new one yesterday or today. We're at 741 subscribers here on the channel. So Gaming Line, you're a fucking trooper. We love you here at the Hidden Panda Show, and anytime that you can come by and grace us with your presence, it's fucking awesome. So thank you, man. Really, you've been here for the long haul since the beginning, and it means a lot to me that you still try to find time to show up in the chat. So I appreciate it. Kendall Southwick, I'll never forget you, bud. We have an intimate relationship, as you know, from a live stream that I did not that long ago, where we really, really tried to, draw some attention to your YouTube channel, and I think that we were able to do that for you, and you're fucking awesome. And Chase Benson, guys, if you're playing on PC, make sure that you add him on Steam at _ Chase Benson _. He's a really fucking cool guy. He plays No Man's Sky on PC. He's super dope. So check him out. Lava Lamp 64. You know my PSN. It's Panda Poopy 1. Add me on PSN, and I'll add you back, and we'll be able to play together. And maybe you might want to move to my hub. And we've got a lot of bases being built there. It'll be really cool. So, Dave, thanks for joining in the party chat. You're
No
a fucking
problem.
legendary ass dude, and a longtime member of the No Man's Sky community, and a big advocate for the game. And what I like about you, and while I have you here, I want to say this for anybody who's watching the stream now that watches it later, is that me and you have always been able to speak honestly about the game, in the sense that it's not a perfect game. It's a game that we like and that we appreciate and that we've spent a lot of time playing, but it has problems and it has flaws, and we've always been able to point that out. So thank you for giving me an avenue and a voice and being able to discuss that, because I feel like
No
a lot
problem.
of people are ride or die No Man's Sky fans, and it's either
Yeah.
go or no go. And I think that if we're being fair to Hello Games and to ourselves, that we have a duty to speak on some of the inadequacies with the game, and I feel like I've always been able to do that with you. So
Oh, for sure.
I appreciate that. So
Oh, you're welcome.
anyway, guys, thank you for jumping in the stream. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. I'll catch you guys later on in the No Man's Sky universe. Make sure you give a cute cuddly panda bear some love by clicking that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Panda